Gibson, driver of the 13 Mitigator Ford Fusion. I'd like to thank you for listening to Let's Talk Racing.tv.
Jr., driver of the number 5 Kiker Motorsports Camry. Welcome to Let's Talk Racing TV.
With Rockingham Speedway. Thanks for listening to Let's Talk Racing.
I'm Terri O'Connell, driver of the number 17 Toyota Nascar Camp World Truck Series, and you're listening to Let's Talk Racing.
Hey guys, I'm Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bain, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
When they bump each
I'd like to welcome everybody to Let's Talk Racing. How you doing tonight, Jack?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great.
Nice and great because Scott ain't
No,
here
Scott,
yet.
I'm happy.
Well, if you want to get started, we can get going with Jeff Swindell here. Still remember how to use that thing?
Yeah. Jeff Swindell, how you doing?
Hello.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Keep waking up.
This is Jack Dodson. Got Roger Brehm here with you tonight from Let's Talk Racing. How's things out in Knoxville?
Well, I guess it's okay if you're a duck.
Is it going to mess with the preliminary stuff tonight?
Well, it's not looking great. It's a steady sprinkle right now, just a real light sprinkle. We got pretty good rain this morning early, and then we got to work outside all day today, and it's a little bitty light mist here and there, but it's been sprinkling off and on here the last 45 minutes or so.
Have y'all done any practicing yet, or is that all for tonight?
Well, we actually did have a what they call a Capitani Classic on this last Sunday night, which is a 410 event, and they also had other cars, but it was all out of them. Most of the guys trying to do a warm-up deal with that thing. Everybody just asking.
Well, give us a little rundown on for people like me who have never been to Knoxville. I've heard about it. I've seen, videos.
It's a kick-ass place. I've been there.
Give us a little rundown on what all takes place and how it progresses through.
Well, if you want to compare it apples to apples, it would be basically our Daytona for sprint car racing. I mean, the place is unbelievable in size, and the facility is gorgeous. The track's big, and the fans are abundant. I mean, it's like a carnival out front and all up and down the streets, and the whole town just turns into full race mode. I mean, Knoxville's it's not as big as Daytona, but it turns into every bit of. I think every person here loves racing, and they're definitely into it. And it's a real big fair atmosphere, and you get some great racing. You got all the best cars from around the world. Best drivers from around the world. Australia and different places. So it's definitely an event. We come and stay on the grounds in the motorhome, and that makes it pretty nice, and kind of get to hang out in the parking lot and work on the race cars and all the people milling about all day long. It's definitely an event.
Well, how many years have you been going out there to Knoxville to do this?
Oh gosh, I gotta say, that first time I run had to have been somewhere back around 80, 79, 80, something like that. And I've been doing it just about every year. I got off the Outlaw Trail there in 99 and went home for a few years and got back into it. So really haven't missed too many of them.
Well, now, the name Swindell, everybody knows the name Swindell. I mean, that's a big deal in sprint car racing. Now, how many?
Yeah, you can you find that on the walls post office any day.
Oh, it's on the, okay, all right. Which ones are on the wall? That's what we need to know.
I'm not going to tell you that. You're going to have to look at the picture and decide.
We'll have to send Terry over there and get a camera or something, get pictures.
So how many wins do the Swindells have at Knoxville and in the World of Outlaws and everything goes with the sprint cars?
Well, you know, I'm not a statistician, so I couldn't tell you, but there's a lot of them. You know, I've won a bunch of them throughout the years, you know, off and on, and run second in the Nationals twice, and had it really won two other times, and didn't quite pull it off, had issues, and Sammy's had it won numerous times too. So I mean, it's a great place to win at. You know, we come up here and run a few weekly shows during the year to tune up this year, and it really helped us significantly. I haven't been running a lot of 410 stuff lately, but because the tires are so different now, they run different type tires than what we run with the ASC. This is what I'm running the national tour with right now. We're sitting third in points with that thing. So it's a different tire combination, and then the power is unbelievable with the 410. You know, the 360 we're running now are making the power that we were getting out of the 410s back when I was still running full outlaw schedule back in '99. So these things now, you know, we're getting 730, 740 out of the 360s, and shoot, these 410s, I'm going to bet you within the year there'll be some guys making over 1,000 horsepower out of these 410s. Because I've already got some numbers that are right there.
Goodness gracious, that's
just massive for a 1,400-pound car with the driver in it. You know, that's a lot of power to weight ratio.
Yeah, I've seen the cars out there. I mean, I've been to Knoxville, watched you guys racing, and when you guys get on the gas, they flat get up and go. They don't slouch.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how fast they are here now, and how many of them are so fast. And that's one of the big issues nowadays here is, you know, there's so many good cars and good drivers out here. Like even with the Captain Classic the other day, I mean, Sammy missed the show. I mean, there was just endless names that, you know, you figure are the feature winners that missed the show the other night because they go through an inversion process in the heat race. You know, you qualify, and then they invert six in like 6 heats, what they did the other night, I think it was. And then they only took 3 cars, the top 3 cars in the heat, to the feature. Well, the heat's only 10 laps. And you put a guy that's a second slower on the pole, he could probably still run that top 3 in 10 laps. Just because they're, you know, the cars are so fast, you're wide open, and as long as you don't miss your line, it's hard to pass. So it's gotten really, really out of hand, I think, with the way they're doing the inversions. But, you know, these things ought to be heads up from now on, simply for the way that they do it. What we do is we go out, we qualify, and you get points for qualifying. I think it's like a 2-point drop. I'm not up on this exactly, but I just drive the race car and work on it, and then they tell me where I go. They give you, it's like a 2-point drop in qualifying, and then the heat race finish is a 3-point drop, and then the feature is a 2-point drop qualifying night. So then they add all your points up, and that's how they line up Saturday night. So the heat race is utmost important, and you can't get into the feature. I think the heat races only take the top 4 through qualifying nights here, but they're still going to invert 6, I think it is. So it's just really hard, and it knocks a lot of really good cars out of the feature race for the first night, and it shuffles them back into the B's and the C's and stuff for the final night. And I know a lot of the fans love it because it takes your heroes and some of the great drivers and shoves them way back in the field, but you know, it's really not a fair process for us guys out here trying to make a living.
So how many cars do they usually get at Knoxville for this race?
I think somebody told me today they got 56 for each night, so that's 112 for this event.
Goodness gracious! So yeah, if they do a lot of that inverting, that's going to knock some folks out eventually. I mean, along the way.
Oh, it will. It does every year. You know, it takes some really good cars out every year of the A main, especially qualifying night. And then if you miss the A main qualifying night, that's really going to bury you in points for Saturday night's final events. You know, which I'm just not a big fan of the way they do it, but, I'm not the one that puts the show on. I'm just one of the goofballs that shows up and drives.
Hey Jeff, got a question from online. Have you ever been approached by any of the guys in NASCAR to maybe race over at Eldora for the truck race?
No, never have actually. They're gonna stick mostly to their guys, I think, and their regular team guys, and so I just don't. You're not gonna see a lot of it. You may see a few dirt guys drum up some trucks, but pretty much that thing's. There's so much money in the truck series, and that it's hard to grab a team and just put a team together to go do one show. So you're just really not going to see a lot of that. I mean, it's just going to stay pretty much mostly your NASCAR guys. And some of the NASCAR guys that come up through some of the dirt ranks and stuff anyway, or short track stuff. So I mean, the trucks over there at Eldora, they're really. I mean, it was a great show, but I mean. The speed is way slower than just about anything else that runs around there, but it was still a good show. So that just goes to show you it doesn't take speed to make a great show, but, you're not going to see a lot of the regular sprint car guys and regular dirt guys show up for that thing because they don't get the opportunities.
Now you ran some NASCAR races in the past. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, I went to, Atlanta was my first race, and we were 11th quick under track record in a 6-year-old show car, and it was one of Cal Yarborough's show cars, and he started right behind me, actually.
Good.
In the Hardy's car. And then went to Talladega, went to Daytona. We went to Rockingham. We were the fastest car on the track second day qualifying. Motor blowed up right before it pushed out or took off qualifying. And that was really kind of it. I mean, we had a lot of deals that we worked and pushed and tried to do, but, without the, just like they say, no Bucks, no Buck Rogers.
Well, what I'm getting to is what do you think about how Kyle Larson has made he was in every type of vehicle over the last few years, and I know he was big in sprint cars and all the other stuff. How do you look at him as how he's made the progression in NASCAR?
It's all a matter of hitting the right deal at the right time, and he did. I mean, he hit the perfect road and went down the perfect route, and just hit the right people at the right time. Back when we were trying, me, Sammy, Steve, Dave, several of us trying to go over there originally, they just didn't want the dirt guys over there. They thought we tore up too much stuff and couldn't get our handle on the asphalt, and there was just all kinds of excuses of why dirt car guys couldn't do it until Gordon and Tony and all these other guys finally got through and broke through. And then Chip Ganassi, a real good friend of mine, he stayed at his house all the time we go up and run Lernerville. I actually helped him initially put that Winston Cup program together when he first got over there. And, I like Chip, love him to death, and just really glad for Kyle. I raced against him some in California, different places, and he's a real good kid, and he's a great racer. To pull off what he's pulled off, you just really have to be down a pretty much blessed path and pick the right rides. And I mean, he seemed to get right down through there. But I mean, they put him in anything as long as it's a good car and run up front, he'll put it up front. And I think you're looking at a future champion there very, very quickly.
So about how many? Now I know you've been around for a while, but how many races a year do you usually run?
It's going to be anywhere between 60 and 80. It's really a lot less than what we used to do, which I really haven't been back, full time at it. We've done the last 2 years, last year and this year really, but I've got a lot of other things going on. So we're trying to race as much as we can, and we're running the whole ASCS series and trying to pick up some more outlaw shows. We just don't have a bunch of 410 motors laying around. And the guys at Buffalo Wild Wings actually helped me out this week and got me one of their backup motors to run this week. We actually blew ours up Sunday night there at the Capitani in practice, so we didn't have a backup for it. So they stepped in and helped us out a ton with that, and got us a real good motor, which we got one from them last year too. So they've become good friends and have helped our program out, as far as being able to try to make the Nationals. We got close last year, but didn't quite make it. But into a little incident on the first lap, messed up the nose wing, and then kind of messed the car up the rest of the race in the B main. But we had a shot at it. It was close, and I'm really looking forward to this week. I think we can definitely get in there, and you know, like I said, this place owes me. I've come real close a couple times, and should have had it won a couple times. And you know, one of the first things Wolfgang said when he won up there, oh gosh, I can't remember what it was. He said, you know, Jeff had us covered. That was all it was. But we had a flat and went back. So, you know, we really like to pull this one off before my career's over with, and so I think we may have a good shot at it this week.
Well, I'm pulling for you because you said the key thing there, Buffalo Wild Wings. I love that. Yeah, we have to say something about food on the show.
I noticed you're wearing an In-N-Out burger shirt.
And Jeff, go ahead and thank your sponsor for this week and everything, and we'll let you get back to whatever you were doing, and good luck to you this weekend too.
Okay, yeah, you know, it wouldn't be possible without all the guys, Heartland Catfish down in Mississippi, and U.S. Farm Raised Catfish and my owners, H&H Container Service with the hammers. So do appreciate all of them, and appreciate talking to you guys.
Well, we appreciate you taking time out tonight. I know it's been a hectic schedule over there at Knoxville, so good luck to you. We'll see you soon.
Appreciate it, Cat. Y'all have a good one.
All right, man. All right, we're glad you finally showed up, sir.
Man, he's been over the stadium, I think.
Oh, you been over to Coliseum?
What's over there? You've been trying to rent. I understand you're trying to rent the place so you can have your fan club meeting over there.
Somebody's done something. I text him. I'm like, man, my page is blowing the hell up.
I mean, for 5 hours, where we going to seat all these people?
I was like, man,
they're going to set the same place they were before we got started. Hey, they're going to be at home.
I looked at it, I was like, man, I think they've gained 100 people. The next thing I checked, I was like, what the hell?
The thing about it was he on there?
Yeah.
Oh. The thing, but just 1 minute. The thing about it was, I checked it at like Monday, right? Because it just popped up on my thing.
Just happened.
It did. I mean, because I have what they call Page Manager, and it popped up on my Page Manager, and it had 118. You sent me the text message, and it was no more than maybe 2 hours. And it was up to 2,000 something. I said, Roger done put his hand in it. I know exactly where it come from.
Apparently I got a bunch of overseas fans.
That's right.
Yeah.
The votes just the votes just got here.
I think get old Danny on the phone there.
Who was it?
Danny Lasoski.
Welcome to Let's Talk Racing, Danny Lasoski.
Hey, man. Thank you very much. How you guys doing?
We're doing good. You got Jack Dodson and Scott Allen and Roger Brehm here tonight, and we're glad you took a few minutes out from your busy schedule to talk to us.
Well, wouldn't have it any other way. It's our pleasure.
Well, good. What's your schedule look like for the next few nights out there in Knoxville?
Well, fortunately, hopefully the rain will get out of here. They'll be able to run tonight, and then our qualifying night is tomorrow. And I've heard all kind of scenarios. If it doesn't happen right now, Mother Nature is taking over.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what I had heard, that it was raining out there, and it doesn't look good, they said.
Yeah, I know there's another storm just in the come. It's just unfortunate for all everybody's all hyped up, ready to run the Knoxville Nationals, and right now it's a little long delayed, but it's not the end of the world. But hopefully we'll get tonight in a little bit later on.
Now, you've been fortunate enough to win the Knoxville Nationals 4 times. So, what's it like for you to be at Knoxville?
Again, winning that race is an honor. It's still today, when I come into the city limits, I still get butterflies in my stomach, because that race is like no other. You can win 100 races in your career, but the Knoxville Nationals is one each and every competitor strives for. It's our Indianapolis 500 and our Daytona 500 on the single one.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, you're in pretty elite company winning it 4 times.
I tell you, hey, did you ever get a chance to do your ride-alongs today, or has it just been all wet all day?
Excuse me, I didn't hear you.
Did you get a chance to do your ride-along thing with everybody, or did it just been raining all day and you didn't get to that yet?
Yeah, we haven't got today's been just a washout so far, so I haven't got any ride-alongs or anything today.
how bad is the weather? I mean, is it just pouring or is it just?
It's just a steady rain. Just steady, not pouring, but enough that you can't move, you can't get anything going on. It's just bad.
Now, I know when we were talking earlier about you were going to give your wife a ride in the ride along, just out of curiosity. Is she sort of glad it rained, or is she sort of sad that it's raining?
She's out there doing a rain dance.
How did you talk her into that? I don't think I could ever get my wife talked into anything getting in a race car with me.
Well, it's so fun. Get right. He said, hey, third one of the night, he said, you can get anything you want. I said, if I do this, I want my wife to go. I want her to know what I go through. And oh my God, she's scared to death. But you know what? It's something that I think that she would enjoy once she gets there. But I guess the anticipation, she's nervous and she's doing rain dance. Hopefully it don't happen.
Well, I think she's lucked out.
That's the way it looks. Yeah.
I'm sure it's probably a good makeup date somewhere in there. I'm sure.
Sure. I'm sure we'll do it somewhere.
Now, I asked this question to another guy a few minutes ago. About how many races a year do you run?
On my schedule, before we started one race in Speed Week in Florida, I had 107 bar any rain.
Good gracious.
Yeah, I think right now I'm at, upper 50 somewhere.
All right, do you drive your own car, or do you drive for somebody else?
I drive for everybody else. I mean, I've got my own car, and I got a couple of different cars that I drive for Mark Birch and Jeff Whitehead from the rest. So anybody that needs a driver, I kind of like having helmet, bag, and wheel traveling.
Oh, I like that idea.
There you go.
I like that. That's a good idea.
Scott, no, you can't go do that.
Right. I just got to find somebody willing to let me, not just pay me, but willing to just let me drive. So how close in setups the 4 times you won it, is your setup on the car been completely different each time? Has the track changed from year to year that much?
Well, the setup has changed a little bit because I've worn it on a couple different styles of tires, so that dictates how we run the car and the shocks. And, everything's advanced in racing. Nothing stands still. So with the technology and everything keeps going forward, you just got to keep up with it.
What are you doing?
Now, do you run just the one 410 division, or do you run any of the others?
I run the 410, 360, but I'd run 305. I'd run Marshall's if they have a race.
Have you tried stock cars?
I ran one stock car race in my life, and it was the first Prelude Dream, and I ran third.
Oh, okay, cool. So would you ever be interested in probably driving one of the trucks at Eldora if you ever got the chance to do that?
Absolutely. I'd run there. I hear they're looking at Knoxville. Absolutely love to do that.
I think it would be good that if NASCAR would, for the trucks maybe, to add another couple dirt tracks, because they got a big backing behind that.
Sure do. And I think NASCAR's probably looking at that situation. They think a couple premier places to race it that they could put a lot of on the grandstand. They probably entertain that time.
Well, Danny, give us a little background on your history, kind of like a bio about what all you've raced through your career, and when you got started, and how you got to the point where you are now.
I started out, my Uncle Tom before racing, my father raced, and I started out just like everybody else, having a desire to race. And at a very young age, I knew that I had the gut-burn desire to try to beat the best. And to beat the best, you got to race the best. That's the world of outlaws. So I was doing everything I could do up the ladder to find a good outlaw ride. I raced the World of Outlaws '98 for Dennis Rock. Then I started driving for Tom Stewart, and that really was snowball our career. Winning outlaw championship our first year and being second, I think, the next 5 out of 6 years. We really got going well, and then to have an opportunity to run the IROC series and being successful at Chili Bowl. So we've had a number of different cars that we've been successful in, and we're really proud of that.
You've been around in it for a long time. Now, this is another question I asked the guy earlier.
You can say Jeff Swindell if you want.
Hey, anyway,
I already told him we were talking to Jeff.
Okay, I asked Jeff Swindell since I'm getting yelled at. But what do you think about how the progression that Kyle Larson has made to NASCAR. I mean, he was like running the World of Outlaws or running sprint cars for all those years, and then he made the progression over to NASCAR. How do you think about it? What do you think about it and how his progression has gone?
He's a freak of nature.
Well, that was a good answer.
Wasn't what I expected, but that was a good one.
I was a friend of mine, and I'm elated of the raw talent the guy has, the desire at a young age to do what he does. Just about anything. Just anything he hops in, he's got a knack for doing it. Very proud of him, and he's going to be successful no matter what he does.
Yeah, I would agree. Now, there seem like more people is getting into the dirt series, like with Kyle Larson? It seems like anytime somebody like Kyle Larson, wherever they came from, everybody starts migrating to that to follow their same path and learn the same things they did.
Correct.
That was correct. Okay. That was a short, sweet answer.
Yeah.
Right. But I think Stickel is correct. And when you're that young in the parentship today, they try to mold however be the next. What we call around sprint cars the next step forward. That's what they do.
Well, I definitely think that you learn a lot more car control driving with the gas pedal because you got the power to weight ratio. So how much power you guys have?
Well, there's in today's race, you're up to 900 to 910 horses.
That's crazy.
1,400 pounds when it comes across the scale after the race.
Well, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, you consider a stock car racing today, those things are 350 horsepower, 400 maybe. Some of those crate motors, and you're 3,300 pounds or 3,200 pounds.
Correct. When you call one of these sprint cars, you just like to find yourself to a rocket.
Well, I'm gonna ask the $100,000 question then. How do you see the deal with Tony Stewart with his career in NASCAR? He jumps in a sprint car, gets hurt. What do you think about that? Do you think that's a situation where you shouldn't do the crossover as much or whatever?
I believe that you have one life to live. And if driving a sprint car, driving a nationwide car, driving an XL Cup car, driving a dragster, if the guy wants to race, he should be able to race. That was unfortunate for him to wreck. He could have wrecked, fallen off a bar stool on a bar. I think Tony Stewart is an incredible talent, and I think he loves sprint car racing, and I think he should be able to drive whatever he drives, whenever he wants to drive.
And he's a good ambassador for the dirt car, for the sprint cars and everything because of his love for it. And he gives you all a lot of publicity there because of his love for it.
Yeah, he does. And he gets back to the sport. He'll never forget where he comes from. And so I can't say that for some of the other guys who keep their racing. They just kind of like abandoned our sport, but Tony hasn't.
Now, is there any new safety features that are coming along in those things? Because the last few years we've had a few people get hurt pretty seriously, and going back to Shane Neal and those type of things. Is there something that they're doing to make those things a little more safer, or to contain the driver, or maybe open them up a little bigger to give a little more room?
Again, Knoxville does a great job, with the tethers, the front axle, and full containment seats, the covered drive lines. These things, you can only be so safe. You just respect them and hope you got good equipment done to you, because something's going to happen. We're out of our control anyway. Good Lord above looking out for us.
Yeah, even the accidents we kind of mentioned, they're all sort of freak or strange accidents.
They are, they're accidents is what happens.
Yeah.
That's not racing.
Well, Danny, we're going to go ahead and let you give your sponsors a shout out and everything here, and we wish you the best of luck for this weekend. Hope you bring home your fifth.
Hope you get it in.
I really appreciate having us on the show.
By the way, I meant to ask you earlier. Now, Jeff told us you get a lot of Australians that come up to race up there at Knoxville. How do you feel? Do what?
There is a lot of Australians here.
How does that bring your competition level? When I was up there, I spent some time with some of those Australians, and they are a bit wild. What does that do to you and your level of racing in the sport when you got to deal with those guys?
I gotta be honest with you, when we strapped in them cars, I couldn't tell you if it's an Australian, if it's a Puerto Rican.
You probably don't care.
I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I don't make it up. When I go, that's just another car.
Well,
Cool.
Okay.
Well, let's go ahead and let you thank your sponsors and let you get back to playing with the Ducks.
My buddy Todd Krystal makes this happen. Tony Ross and Michael Ross Foundation, Paul Kistler, EMI, Kathy, everybody contributes to making this thing happen, and we couldn't do it without them.
Well, good luck. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you.
appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you later.
We'll be watching. Ryan Reed on the other line.
Boy, we just jump them right in. Ryan Reed, how you doing, sir?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. We're going to change gears. We've been talking dirt, so now we're going to talk nationwide with you.
Perfect.
How's things going with you? Have you got to Watkins Glen yet?
No, we fly out early tomorrow morning.
Oh, okay, cool. And I hear you're doing double duty this week.
Yeah, man. Race mechanic race. Pretty stoked about that.
All right, now, who is that? You're going to be driving for McAnally?
Yep, that's right. It's actually the same car that Ricky drove in Sonoma a couple weeks ago.
Right. Well, now, for those of us who, I probably know more about your career than some people do, but tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to where you are and how you got hooked up with Jack Roush.
Yeah, I mean, it started a couple of years ago. We worked a lot with, I do have Fords and ARCA, really just trying to support, me living with diabetes for a few years. I had, we tried to support, all Ford's effort, and they were supporting, the Diabetes Foundation, CJRF and ADA, and, Albert Ford, Tesla Ford's son, he has type 1 diabetes. We started to get a relationship with those guys, and then they got us a meeting over at Roush Fenway, and just kind of went from there. And they've been watching me in ARCA, and it was just a really cool opportunity for me to go in there and sit down with Jack and them and talk about my future. And then they said, how about you come run 5, 6 nationwide races with us in 2013, and that's what we did. And we were really fortunate to run well on those, and put together a great program with Lilly Diabetes for this year and the American Diabetes Association. So it's just been a really awesome relationship. I know that we continue to grow every week as a race team, and I'm just really, really blessed to be a part of that organization.
Now, with you and Trevor and Chris all running together, how much do you all interact with each other away from the track and at the track?
We spend a lot, obviously, we're on the road with each other pretty much every weekend, so we spend a lot of time with each other. We see each other in the shop all the time, and I think we've all become pretty good friends. And away from the racetrack, we have a pretty good relationship, I guess, as well as at the racetrack. So I think we all work together really, really well. I know that it can be difficult sometimes to have with that teammate chemistry. It gets competitive. They're in the same stuff as you. There's no excuses. I guess when it comes to that, you can't say it's other guys in better equipment or whatever. So if other guys beat you, you definitely want to beat your teammates. You definitely want to run as well as them at least. So it can be really competitive, but at the same time, I think we work really well together, and we really try to help each other out as much as we can.
Now, does Jack have you working in the shop any?
No, I wrecked a few race shows beginning of the year, and I was definitely told that if I kept that up, then I'd be working in the shop fixing wreck races. So, I'm in the shop a couple days a week, hanging out with my guys and just eating different stuff. But I'm not working on race cars right now.
Well, that's good. That's a good thing because your performance is really, you're getting better every week.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something I think it should be to just growing as a team. And Seth Barber, last year was rookie as a crew chief. I think he did about 16 races, and obviously this year we're full time together. So we've been able to really learn a lot from each other. I think it's just a lot of dedication from everyone involved. I know as a driver, I've really worked a lot on myself this year, and I know that everyone involved is just trying to get better week in and week out. And obviously, Jack is obviously committed to building fast race cars every week. So, it's been a great year so far. I know that, we'd like to have, we'd obviously like to have some wins and just more top fives and top tens, but we're getting there. And I think that there's a lot of confidence over on our side. So, I think it's all coming, and we're in a good place where things are at. We know we're getting fast every week, so I think that the confidence is high right now.
So how do you look? How you think things are going to go for you this weekend at Watkins Glen? How many road course races have you run?
I ran Road America, and I ran Sonoma in the Cannon West Division last year. So I guess this will be my third road course, and I really enjoy them. We were running seventh at Road America before that late caution, and we were kind of close on fuel mileage. We decided to pit, and that kind of cost us a good finish, but we were top 10 all day, so I know that we're going to bring a fast race car to Watkins Glen, and I think having that extra seat time in the Cannon East race with McAnally will definitely be huge. I mean, you're talking to Ricky and different guys, that helped Ricky quite a bit at Sonoma, just learning the track and learning passes and stuff like that. So, it doesn't obviously all translate. It'll be a little different shift points and stuff, but knowing the track and just having that extra seat time is huge. So I think that'll kind of give me a little bit of an advantage, especially over some of the other rookies. So excited to get out there for that. Plus, those cars are so fun on that bias flight tire. It's just really fun racing. It's kind of it's a little bit back more what I grew up doing. Did some Cannon racing growing up, so pretty excited about it.
So Ryan, how long have you had diabetes, or when did you learn that you had it?
I was diagnosed in 2011, 17 years old, so it's been a few years now.
So it was probably a pretty big adjustment for you, because you're a type 1, which is now are you doing the shot, or do you have a pump?
Yeah, I'm on injection, so type 1 is also called insulin dependent diabetes, I guess. But it's I take shots every day, and it's just part of my life now. I think that it was definitely a big adjustment. It's something both at the racetrack and away from the racetrack was a huge adjustment. But I think that it's just so awesome with all the technology out there that they have today. They're able to watch my blood sugar in the car, and we have systems in place in case of a high or low blood sugar, and it's just really amazing that I'm able to go out and do what I love to do and chase my dreams despite having it. And then, also too, not only out there doing it, but, we're able to raise awareness through the Drug Stop Diabetes program, and not just away from the racetrack, but at the racetrack, on the hood of the race car, on the race car, every week, we're out there raising awareness for diabetes and showing people that, you can go out there and chase your dreams. So, it's obviously something that's really special to me and something that, over the last couple of years, I've really, really gotten more and more involved with every year, and I just hope that it continues to go that direction, because it's such a huge passion of mine. And working with kids and adults alike, just on whether it's them inspiring me or I'm inspiring them, it's just a great atmosphere, and I love being a part of it.
Yeah, I mean it's the amount of people that have diabetes is huge. Now, what do you do differently than probably maybe you did before the average driver before a race? Because I mean, you got a long time, a couple hours in a race. What do you do to prepare for it in the race car? And I mean, is there a way to check it while you're in the car? I mean, I don't know. Is there? You said something about y'all had some systems in place.
Yeah, so I mean, away from the racetrack, it's a lot of diet and exercise. It's a lot of just really being as healthy as possible. I mean, obviously I still take insulin every day, but I feel like the more in shape I am, the healthier I eat. The more healthy that I am, the easier it is to manage. And then after the racetrack, inside the racetrack, I guess I have one of the things I use to actually monitor my blood sugar. You know what it is it's called a Dexcom, and it's a continuous glucose monitor. So what it allows me to do is wirelessly monitor my blood sugar. It's announced my dash. And so I know where my blood sugar is at. And so if my blood sugar is a little bit low, I have a drink inside our race car that is high in glucose, so that allows me to spike my blood sugar if it is a little bit too low. And then if my blood sugar goes too high, we actually have a guy on my team to come over the wall and give me an insulin injection during the race.
Have you come close to having to do that?
Obviously, I've never had to do it. There's been times where throughout the race I get a little nervous, I'm watching it closely because I know
getting a little higher than not really what I want to see, but I know I'm getting up towards that kind of that line, I guess, of what I'm comfortable with. So, you know, fortunately, I mean, I have a great team of doctors and a great support team, and you know, I think that, you know, it really is a tribute to just how amazing these doctors are that are taking care of us people living with diabetes, and you know, but I think that, you know, it's something that's definitely nerve-wracking at times, but, you know, I feel pretty confident everyone's surrounding me, and you know, I think that, you know, I've done I don't know how many races since I was diagnosed and never had not really had an issue, I guess, so I think that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing. I got a good friend of mine who is insulin dependent.
You got friends?
And I had to learn a long time ago how to do the insulin injections, and I think that's, you know, that's really, you are an inspiration to a lot of people, being able to do the things you do, and being as a race car driver. I commend you for what you've done and the awareness you brought to it.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, man. It's like I said, it's something that means a lot to me, and you know, I know that being able to get up there and race and chase my dreams, even after my diagnosis, it's huge for me, and it's something that I really want to, you know, I kind of want to spread the story and do what I can to get back, because I know that it's a tough disease, and it can be, you know, especially for kids. I know I work a lot with kids, and it's just so, it's such an amazing feeling to me. You know, it really puts in perspective. You know, it's easy to get caught up in racing and winning races and running better every week, but when you can go talk to a family or a kid living with diabetes and you know, and really inspire them to chase their dreams or to live a fulfilling life, that's what it's all about. I mean, that's really, you know, like I said, it's really puts in perspective for me.
Hey, I mean, I'd say it's even, in some ways, it could be a benefit, because all the people that have diabetes out there, they're going to feel drawn to you because you're doing, you know, you're living your dream and living with it and an athlete in the sport.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, what's it look like for 2015 next year? What have you got your stuff lined up for next year, or are you still working?
Nothing set in stone. You know, I think it's around that kind of time of year where everyone's starting to talk about it, and I know that we're working hard on it. And you know, I think my plan right now is definitely to be back running for Jack Roush for the Nationwide Series. So you know, I know we're really excited over Roush Fenway and everything. Moving in a good positive direction, and like I said, on the track we're getting better every week. So you know, I think that everything's really positive, and you know, I know we're really excited, and you know, like I mentioned, really excited for Trevor going Cup racing next year and just the whole 2015 Cup lineup. So I think that you know, we have an announced nationwide driver lineup, but you know, I think everyone's really excited around the shop just with where things are headed and kind of a rebuilding process going on. But you know, I mean. And then, you know, having Martin come on board and helping me and Chris out and really everyone out. But, you know, I mean, for me and Chris, it's huge, obviously, being rookies. So just, they're doing so many great things over there, and I just hope to continue to be part of the organization.
Well, I hope so. And well, we appreciate your time tonight and being on the show and spending a little time with us. And hope I get to see you soon down in Charlotte. I get down there every now and then, so hope to get down and see you again.
Awesome, buddy. Thanks for having me on.
All right, man. We appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
All right, bye.
I mean, that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat, though, to be able to.
That's unbelievable.
I was wondering how. I mean, because I imagine with you sweating and I think, you know, for diabetes, I know it runs in my family. Big as you are, I'd say it's got to run in yours.
No, it don't run in my family, and I ain't died of either.
I got a blood test kit I can check you with.
Oh, you can check me. I don't care.
My wife just like, she can't like wait till I got it. She's like, I don't know why you ain't got it. Of course, she's a nurse, so she just worries about everything under the sun.
I don't know why you ain't got it either.
The doctor's driving me crazy. They're trying to tell me I have it, but every time I'm taking all my sugar readings, I don't have it.
Yeah, they're trying.
I mean, geez, I mean, they gave me stuff before that drove my blood sugar down into the 60s. Mm-hmm. And if you know anything about that, that's like the time when you start trying to pass out. You know, because you're hypoglycemic at that point. I mean,
I got a friend of mine that I'll never forget when I found out that he was I didn't know he was a diabetic, and he and I were in the car together going down the road.
Oh, and you found out he was over.
And we're going, and on top of that, we're going to the prison to play basketball because they would let us in the gym You know, so we're going over there. So we're riding down the road, and before we get there, you know, he said, I better go and get him, you know, he didn't say it out loud. And I looked over, and he's done got this bottle out, and he's going like this.
What kind of drug addict is this?
And I said, what the heck you doing?
Yeah, you know, see what his mother said when he come down the hallway taking a shot like that. Man, they're gonna run him out.
Yeah. So then I ended up going to the house one day, and you know, his dad and mom said, well, look, you two are together all the time. You need to learn how to, in case he... So I ended up having to learn how to give the shot. Thank goodness I never had to do it.
Let me tell you something. For some other reason I have to give somebody a shot, they're going to be SOL because I can't do it.
Well,
I'll be on the floor floundering like a fish out of the water.
I'll give you a shot,
and I'm not.
But if I have to give you CPR, you dead.
You do it.
You're not gonna kiss him, Mark.
I'm not going to. I will stand there and say, please breathe.
Hey.
But you dead.
You know he's funny. Every time I kiss him, he giggles.
I don't know about you guys.
Oh God.
Get the air compressor out.
Hey, you're early.
So I'd go over there and get, I'd have to get the air compressor.
But it's still pretty accurate.
And then I would drop it in his mouth like that.
I still can't imagine reading a...
Terry's calling early. So I told her she'd call back 15 minutes.
The other guy calling?
Oh, I sent him a text. You gotta remember, he's the general manager out of Knoxville.
He's probably having a lot going on.
I know, so...
I just can't imagine, though, for him, I mean, a young person to have type 1 diabetes and running that race car and have to keep an eye on
He's got
it.
a target on his leg.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about
Got a
that.
target on his leg where you can...
Yeah.
Ain't it a tattoo or something?
No, it's a thing. It's on his driver's suit.
Now, also one of the Indy drivers, is it Funchman or
Yeah.
Hinchman?
Yeah.
Diabetes.
Yeah, but he's got a thing on his driver's suit where I guess if it gets to the point, you know exactly where you got to hit that dude.
Imagine they got a guy trained on his team to come over the wall and... I mean, that's crazy.
That'd be a good job. I'd do that. You ain't got to worry about it because you can just stop and we'd run to you.
Be like in New York and somebody falls in there, we just walk over them.
So, you didn't race in South Boston, right?
No. we just had a good weekend. We went out Friday night and stayed till Sunday morning.
You didn't race.
Look, they had us up there. They had a drivers meeting. So look, we're gonna have a race. Y'all gonna practice here and da da da. They were going to start practice. I said, well, damn, I guess we are gonna race. Well, I mean, it started looking pretty good, and I said, well, damn, I guess I don't know how the hell we're gonna race. I can see water seeping through the racetrack. It had been all morning. So they won't 5 minutes later. The guy goes, hey, they have another drivers meeting. I said, drivers meeting? Yeah, they said everybody to the tech shed. So walk over there and I said, well, we did all we can do. I said, yeah, this ain't good. We just can't seem to get the track from stop weeping. I'm thinking to myself, they do that shit this morning. It was weeping this morning. As much as rain they had the day before.
Yeah, they had a lot of rain today.
There was no way that it won't go. I mean, it was muggy in the morning. It never really, it sprinkled a little lightly. It never really got much rain, but it was just overcast and cloudy.
So, are we racing this weekend?
No. I don't think when our next race is. I don't think it's next weekend. I think it's the following weekend back.
All right, now
We're going back to South Boston. So.
Well, that girl that, you know, I'm in her fan club.
Yeah,
you know,
her fan, not mine.
She's
That's right. I got a few more fans than her now.
Abdul Nabi ain't got nothing to do with it, man. I'm telling you.
What about her?
Yasir Sharif.
I couldn't even get that much out.
No, she's racing some kind of race on Sunday.
Oh yeah.
Did you get to go visit with Peyton and everything too while you were up here?
No, there just wasn't time to do anything. I didn't even see. Well, I seen them leaving.
You didn't get to do any racing. I mean, hey, what you doing?
There's more to it. You just don't show up. I mean, there's work to do. Goddamn, we got. Well, I mean, I know I'm the driver. Most drivers ain't got nothing to do.
Hold it. You're talking to us. We have been at the track and spent an hour talking with you.
Well, I mean, that's what I do.
I spent more than an hour.
Or
I spent
more.
more than an hour with
Or
Donkey
more.
Drum.
He's got the sign. He's got the sign.
So who are you trying to fool?
He's got to sign autographs.
I gotta get my cart teched. I had to put a chain on it.
Okay, well, to get your cart tech. Now I watched your cart tech when I was over there that day.
Yeah.
Okay. All you did was lift it up, set it down. The guy said, okay, and then you left.
I gotta stand on the scale. Then why don't you go,
I saw you lift it up, set it down. And he said, okay, and that was it. That was tech.
No, that was after qualifying. Because I gotta measure the wing, and I'm almost pushing the gray area on some of the limits on the wing.
Man, what they gonna do if they bust you? If they bust you for cheap, what they gonna do?
I don't care. I ain't
Take
care.
your bubble gum that way?
Yeah, they'll take the $7 trophy. But look, the other week when we raced at 2 in the morning, that was like a wreck fest. I mean, it was crazy.
Y'all sleepy. All them kids that was in there racing.
Way past their bedtimes.
I mean, one guy,
way past his too.
He had to have his chassis straightened out. He messaged me and was saying, "Man, where'd you get that big mirror?" Because I have one of those great big long mirrors on.
Yeah, we saw it.
So I can see.
We don't need to see that
Well, you don't need to see behind you.
No, you got to a lot.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Know who to line up when they're coming up.
Yeah.
Well, you got to
Make sure you
cut
don't
the
jump
bottom.
out
I
of
mean,
it all
you
the
got to
time.
think it's just like running Daytona with the yellow line. We have a yellow line. You're not allowed to go under the yellow line. They still do. But if you look in your mirror and you see a car disappear, you better hook left so you can get down in front of them so they keep pushing you. If not, you're going to be a freight train. You spend about just as much time in the mirror than you do.
I thought that's what the GPS was for, to let him know which way to
Well,
go.
you know, you
He
get
gets back.
behind us sometimes.
You gotta use the battery operated
remind me.
So you went up there, no racing, but you stayed up there all weekend.
Yeah, we had a good old time. We had about half the HRQC people that, because we had we actually had 3 campers.
Did you go to the barbecue the barbecue place?
I don't know about no barbecue place.
That's right. He didn't ever go with us, did he?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it sucks to be you.
Yeah. No, I'm not friends with y'all like that.
That's right. He had broken down vehicles and everything.
Yeah, that's right.
I had my own friends.
Really?
Yeah.
All 2 of them showed up, huh?
Well, I mean, I had to give him $50, but
I guess it was
and
kind of...
y'all talk too much trash about me.
Why? Somebody else pick up on it and start doing it too?
No, you and Steve at Martinsville.
Huh?
You and Steve at Martinsville, my buddy that was with me.
Oh yeah, if that's one of your buddies, you don't need no enemies.
He's the best. Did he tell you about the house we stayed in? Look, I got a friend of mine that's got a house a few miles up from the racetrack. And what's in the basement? In the ground?
Yeah.
He was so nervous. He's like, look, we can just get a hotel. I said, man, I've already got this house to stay in. So we ride time to look at it, and we're looking for a house that's sticking out of the ground about this much.
He thought the wind blew away.
He's like, man, they go, you've seen Deliverance, haven't you?
Look, I've done carried you all day today, so let's get on in there.
Okay. Let's talk racing.
Hey guys.
How you doing?
Terry.
Sorry, Terry. We didn't tell him it was you. Or he wasn't listening when I said, Jack says, who is it? I said, it's Terry. Oh, okay.
Who are you, whispering?
I'm whispering from way over here. Hey, Terry, when you get back here, just thump him upside his head.
Well,
I'm gonna duct tape every one of you when I get back.
Duct tape.
He likes that stuff.
You can take mine and Jack's hands together.
Okay, we'll do it.
All right, look, I know you're in Knoxville, but you don't have to be obnoxious.
Oh my God. See what I'm missing? Not being there? Oh my God.
Yeah, you're missing a lot.
I know.
It's like grumpy old men.
I know.
Well, grumpy old one man.
And, well, we wasn't going to talk about Roger.
That's a good deflection.
You know, I can edit you out.
All right, Terry, tell us about Knoxville. What's going on up there?
Well, I'm sitting here in my car, and the super famous sprint car racer R.J. Johnson is sitting here in the car with me. We're in the middle of rain delay,
Good gosh.
What did they say, RJ?
They say if they can hot lap by midnight, we're going to run the show, and that's in 5 hours.
Oh, did y'all hear that?
Yep.
That's,
Hey, tell RJ I said hi, Terry.
Rob just said hi, RJ. Hello. I'm going to put him on here in a second.
Okay.
so, have you had any practice or anything so far?
Not a thing. It's been drizzling all day, and it's going to be tough. They said, though, if they get this, if it kind of goes away, they'll run this thing tonight. If not, they'll just have to double up over the next couple of days, get it done. You guys don't know rain delays are crazy, but on dirt track, it's a little bit different. You got to kind of wait this thing out and see where you end up.
Well,
Yeah, how do they drive the track? I mean, anybody?
You don't drive the track. You go out there and ride it until it,
Well, that's where I'm at. Am I interviewing you or her?
I'm sorry, Terry. He's never
I know
been.
you ain't- you don't
He's never
know
been to a
nothing
dirt
anyway.
track. He don't know what he's talking about.
He's just one of those pavement racers. He don't know anything about this kind of stuff.
Well,
I'm not in y'all's clique.
he goes out on pavement. I ain't gonna say he's a racer yet.
I know.
hey, Terry.
I know. Yeah.
I found out why it's raining, though.
Really?
Yeah, Danny Lasoski's wife's been doing a rain dance ever since she found out Danny was going to put her in the back end of the ride-along car.
You know what? I really don't blame her at all. Because I know Danny was getting ready to set her up for a big, big thrill. That's all right. Hey, Roger, doing that ride-along thing is not too bad. You should come do that sometime.
Yeah, you can ride with Terry. Terry, you
I
can
told
ride.
I told Danny anytime he wants to do it, just let me know when I'm up there.
We'll duct tape you to RJ's roll cage.
Okay.
Give you a ride.
You better do it on the left side. Put it on the right side. You're gonna have a little hard time with the right side weight.
Yeah, RJ said you could be a real live GoPro.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah.
Bungee cord me to the top when I hold the camera while we go, right?
It'd be like that commercial, the Pet Boys commercial. Or one of those commercials, the guys hanging off the side of the car. Going, yeah, you got to squeak here, and
Yeah.
Exactly.
or you could just adjust
That's what
it.
they do at his shop.
It's like
I'm scared to take my car to his shop.
We're like that ones where the guy calls and says, "Hey, how's my car going?" And the three guys are sitting on it eating. He's got my three best guys on it.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to put RJ on. Let you talk to him for a second. Hold on a second. He'll hand it back to me. Hey, how's it going?
How's it going, guys?
Hey, how's it going out there?
Well, it's really wet, and we're looking at a line of about 100 transporters waiting to get into a racetrack, and they haven't made much progress for about 5 hours, so not really.
It looks like it may be tomorrow before y'all get a chance to do anything.
Yeah, they said right now, like me and Terry were just talking about, they said it's going to be basically, if they can hot lap us before midnight, they're going to go through with the show tonight, and if not, we'll have to double up over the next couple days, but I mean, as a racer, I think they'd much rather run tonight than have to do 2 shows in one day. That's pretty tough.
Now, how would they go about doing that tomorrow? I hear there's 112 cars there or something. How would they go about doing it? Because you have 2 days of qualifying. And then, how in the world are they going to handle work all of it in one day?
There's 2 ways that they can do it, and there's 2 ways they've done it probably in the past 5 years. The first option is they can take tonight's show and run it, say, at like noon, and have a day show, and then have tomorrow night's show at its regularly scheduled time, and then you're all done and you're caught back up by just doing it that way. But that usually turns really bad because obviously the racetrack doesn't hold up very good during the day. What they've done before is they've staggered 2 events at one time. Like they go day 1 hot laps go out, then day 2 hot laps go out, then day 1 qualifying goes out, then day 2. That way you kind of keep it even and everybody's on the same playing field as far as the track conditions go. But I would think they would go with the second one and kind of do it staggered all in one night rather than run a day show. But I guess we'll find out depending on how it goes tonight.
Well, then you'd have to have your cars got to be pretty close off the trailer because you're not going to get much practice, right?
Yeah, I mean, our hot laps are usually only about 3 laps anyway as far as practice time goes. So when we unload, it's pretty much within a few adjustments of being ready to go for the A main, really.
So how does your car look for this weekend? I mean, have you got everything done and everything ready to go?
It's kind of wet right now.
We're good. We've got a car that we've only ran for 2 weeks now that was brand new a couple weeks ago. Had a crash at the Outlaw show here a while back. We built a brand new car. We've been going pretty good since, getting better every week, and we got a brand new fresh engine. So we're ready to go if it just stopped raining. I'm really optimistic. I feel really good about it. We've been qualifying good, and that's the biggest key to this whole deal.
Now, what does the weather look like for the next couple of days? I mean, is it clearing up tonight and then good for the rest of the weekend?
Tomorrow looks pretty rough, but it's just during the day. Then tomorrow night seems to look okay. Then after that, it gets better. We just got to weather this part of it, but it's spotty even tomorrow, so we'll see how it goes. But I mean, this is the biggest dirt track race in the world, so they're not going to cancel it, and there's too much money on the line. So we'll get it done. It might be Monday or Tuesday, but it's not going to be canceled. So we have to wait it out and see how it goes.
What does it pay to win?
$150,000.
That's a couple dollars.
No, that's not bad at all. And I guess when they say that's the Daytona of sprint car racing, that proves the point right there.
Yeah, well, really, the next best paying race is the Kings Royal, and that pays $50,000, and so does the National Open in Pennsylvania. So it's by far the highest paying race. It pays $10,000 just to start the AMA, and that's where the World Outlaw Show pays to win every night. So it's a pretty big deal.
And how many fans show up for this event? I mean, I've never been.
This place seats 24,000 people, 18 on the front stretch, 18 on the front stretch and 6 on the back stretch. And Saturday night there won't be a seat left, so you're gonna have right at 25,000 people, considering who's in the pits and stuff.
Dang.
And they also have skyboxes over there in the Hall of Fame too, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, they've got skyboxes above the main grandstand, probably 20 of them, and they've got 20 skyboxes over in the Hall of Fame. So if you had those in, I mean, you probably easily got 30,000 people here. And the coolest part of it, it's an 8,000 person town. So when all those people invade this whole town, it turns into quite an event.
So you just said that you've been running this car for the last 2 weeks, but have you run any other races during the year other than these?
I've been running basically Knoxville exclusively weekly in the 410 class. I have ran a couple World of Outlaw shows. I went to I-80 in Greenwood, Nebraska with the World of Outlaws in June, and then we had a rain out here probably a month later, and I went to Cedar Lake, Wisconsin with the Outlaws, and that's really about all we've done. It's a pretty big deal just to keep up with the Knoxville Weekly show. It's about the toughest there is as far as weekly racing goes, so we'll try to move around a little more after the season's over here at Knoxville, but that's been pretty much it so far.
Now, do you race there earlier to get the feel for what it's going to be like for this weekend?
No, we pretty much race here all the way from April through September, and the reason we do that is the highest paying weekly sprint car race in the country. It pays $3,000 to win, which makes it a big deal to be here every week. And we've got guys like Craig Lansky and Terry McCarl, Brooke Tatnell, basically professional race car drivers racing here on a weekly basis just because it pays well. So we do that for the experience, and it's good because you don't have to travel a whole lot to get that experience, as opposed to racing with the World of Outlaws and running 80 races over the whole United States. So if you have to stay in one spot, this is a good one to do all year, and then just a good side effect is you get plenty of laps for the Nationals here in August.
Hey RJ, got a question from online. Somebody wants to know, they hear that drivers usually lose about 10 pounds during a race day. Is that about true for you?
No, I would say that's probably a little much, but you definitely do lose quite a bit. I mean, driving a sprint car is probably one of the most physical things you can do as far as any other kind of race car. It's pretty good, especially on a hot day. I mean, you can get work in there, but I'd say that'd be a little bit of an overstatement as far as the actual weight, but it definitely wears you out, and you can lose a lot of fluid pretty quickly.
Well, this has got, you say it's the biggest race, it's got to be really nice to be, do you live right there in the area too?
Yeah, I live with my parents actually live about 3 miles away from the racetrack here in Knoxville. I live in Powell, about 10 miles to the east, so it's pretty close.
So you have your shop and everything right there in the same area?
Yeah, actually we've got a shop, we've got 2 shops, one at my dad's house and one at ours, and but my trailer's been here at the fairgrounds at the racetrack for the last 2 weeks, because if you back out of your parking spot, somebody's going to drive into it. And we're just leaving our rig here to save our parking spot, and it kind of sounds ridiculous, but it's the case. I mean, if you back out of a spot, somebody's going to fill it up, and then you're going to be sitting there in the middle of the road, basically. So it's kind of like that.
Oh, okay. Well,
how many people do y'all have there weekly?
As far as like a grandstand crowd?
No, that you're racing against.
The 410 field this year has been, we've had as high as 44, 45 cars, and we've had as low as 30. So, but they run 3 classes here weekly, 305 sprint cars, 360 sprint cars, and 410. So usually with all 3 classes, we have about 90 cars, averaging about 30 cars per class every week. And then as you get closer to the Nationals, the weekly shows get bigger and bigger and bigger leading up to this weekend.
You know, I weekly check the statistics out there just to see how everybody's doing. So yeah, they do get a lot of people out there.
Well, I don't know many places that pay $3,000 every week to win. I mean, even late models that those guys are spending. I mean, I don't know what they're spending, but they're spending $100,000 to $200,000 to run late models. And
ask him how much it costs to race a week.
Most people don't like to talk about that.
Well, sponsors need to know.
Yeah,
What is it, ARJ? About what does it cost in tires and everything to get out there and run each week?
Every week, really, they've done a good job of governing it. Most of our rules come from the World Outlaw Sprint Car Series, and they kind of implemented a one tire a night rule, barring rubber down track conditions where you would kill tires. But basically, we can run the same right rear tire all night, which is a big deal because you get guys that'll be putting on a new right rear every time they hit the racetrack, and obviously that gets expensive as far as the dirt track budget goes. So we can basically get through the night. If you put 2 new rear tires in the car, you can pretty much get through the night with those at Knoxville because it's such a nice track surface. It doesn't really hurt tires at all. So you can usually get through with a couple tires and maybe 3 or 4 in an extreme case.
Does Knoxville take rubber like during the weekend? Does it take rubber well, or is that just something that it just goes through its flow sometimes? And it's actually like river bottom black gumbo clay. So it doesn't, I've really only seen it rubber up probably 3 or 4 times in the 6 or 8 years that I've been racing here weekly. So it usually stays in really good shape and holds moisture pretty well, and you don't really see rubber too often, except for maybe like a day show, like we were talking about earlier, that we're trying to avoid this week, because then it'll lay rubber pretty quick with the sun down on it, and then the tire bill gets really out of hand with a sprint car when it lays rubber like that. So with all the rain that you've had today and whatever before, what do you expect the conditions to be like when you all finally do take the track? Do you think it'll be conducive to more grip?
There's basically 2 scenarios that can happen when you get rain like this. Basically, you can have, as you would think common sense-wise, that the racetrack's going to be really wet because it's raining, and therefore it's just going to be locked down and have a ton of grip and be very narrow and hard to pass on. Or the other thing is that the track crew can be really prepared for this and have the track sealed over and have it nice and hard. And then you think it's going to be really wet, like I said, and then you go out there and they have it sealed over. It didn't soak up any moisture, and it gets dry really quick. So usually it's going to hold moisture and be really fast and a lot of grip, but sometimes it can go the other way. It just depends on how the track crew prepared for it, and I'm sure they knew it was coming. This is the best dirt track in the world, so I'm sure they'll handle it well. We'll have a good racetrack.
Cool.
Now, RJ, we're always calling you RJ. Now, for the fans out there who are listening, why don't you go ahead and give them your full name so they'll know who you actually are?
So we can Google you. Get your phone number.
You can Google me with RJ Johnson.
There it is.
Hey, and he ain't going to tell you what the RJ is.
No.
I figured that.
I went to Australia and raced, and I had to buy a license over there in 2012, and whatever you put on your license is what they call you, and when you roll out for qualifying at the Grand Annual Classic down there, a big race, and they blared my real name out in front of 40,000 people, and it was pretty bad, so I won't do that again.
It must be real bad.
It ain't good.
I had a friend that I grew up with, and his middle name was Gurney. And in a school, when the first day he used to call your name out, he would knew when his name would be called so he could yell, "I'm here," real quick before they said Gurney. I knew it for years before he would tell me.
That's funny. I probably should have played more games like that in school, but I don't think I had it figured out that fast.
Now inquiring minds want to know.
Oh, now we're going to sit here and try to figure it out for the next.
It's easy. I'll just ask Terry.
Yeah, I'm sure. Terry will probably throw me under the bus at some point.
There you go.
As long as I don't tell you, I don't feel bad.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate your time. We appreciate you taking time out. I know you're not doing a whole lot right now, so.
No, I appreciate being on, and hopefully you guys can get a little more exposure to sprint car racing, and hopefully we'll have a good weekend and get it in finally.
All right, man. Well, hopefully we can get you back on after all this is over with and find out how everything went.
Yeah, hopefully, have me back on with a big trophy and a pile of cash in my hand. That'd be good.
Well, now, if you come, yeah, let's do that. We'll talk about that later.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right.
All right, guys.
Alright.
All right, well, go out there and do something this weekend. It looks like you're going to be playing in the mud.
We got our snorkel gear on, our goggles, and and we're ready to go. Ain't nothing to it, baby.
Okay, all right.
All you need now is some swim fins and.
Yeah, absolutely. And Walmart's just right down the street, so whatever else we need, we can just buzz down there and get it. Nothing to it. It'll be okay.
Well, I should have known that you'd know where Walmart was.
Two things we know when we're in Iowa, we know where Casey General Stores are and Walmart.
Okay.
And she knows where Target is.
That's true. I know where Target is, too. That's for sure. Absolutely. We're not talking about Kyle Larson either.
And every coffee spot nearby.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, what's RJ's name? I'm Googling, I can't find it yet.
R.J. Johnson.
You don't want to throw him under the bus in front of him?
You're not. Well, my wife's car's in his shop, so I can't be saying too much right now. All my stuff is parked in his shop over there, so he has the key. So I'm being really nice to my buddy over here.
Yeah, you better.
You can text it to me later, Terry. I'll tell him.
I know. Well, you never can tell.
All right, well, have a good weekend out there.
We'll do it, and I'll see you guys in 2 or 3 weeks, and we'll just maybe get up there at Langley and do something. So, looking forward to it.
All right, have a good one.
All right, guys.
See you later.
All right.
You could run for 20 years and couldn't get $3,000, couldn't you?
Well, first I gotta run something that pays.
He hasn't sent you the bill for the battery repair yet, has he?
$3,000 something. No, you could probably, if you really if I really put an effort into it, you could probably get that in an arena. You can tell them what you spend to get it, but it's like the $10,000 to win. You probably spend 20 to win 10.
But the key thing is in the arena cars, when you run the arena cars, is finish the race. And I know, are you going to have Johnny Rockets back with you next year?
I don't know yet. I think so.
Well,
they like the controversy.
Yeah, there goes his season, all the pieces.
Well, maybe you get some money out of all these fan club he's got.
Yeah,
admission
all of them
fees.
send $1.
You could probably call Allah Abdul Nabi over there.
Hey, they probably got a lot of money.
That's what I said. They'll probably send you some.
That's right. Damn right. That's a good idea. I'm gonna tell them you come up with that too.
Okay, you tell them, and I'm gonna see you when you get the money.
Tell them you're my advisor.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to go ahead and see if I can get Brian again one more time. Y'all keep talking.
Okay. Ain't a whole lot to talk about. Not with him.
What's Brian gonna talk about?
He's talking about Brian Stickel.
No, Stickel.
He's the general manager of it.
I was talking about Morehouse. I was like, he said he didn't want to call it.
No,
He said he'd call in if we wanted to.
Yeah.
I think he wants to break away from the family thing.
His family feud. Oh no, family get together.
Hey Brian, it's Roger.
I'm sure he's busy.
Did you get any of my texts?
Texas? Is that Texas or Texas?
Sure, we'll throw you under the bus. Hang on a second, I'm gonna flip you over to the main line.
Okay. Gotcha.
Brian Stickel.
Let's talk racing.
Brian?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
So how's it going out there?
Well, we wish it was a little drier right now. It's been raining here off and on for about 3 hours at this point. We're kind of dying a slow death for tonight. It looks like it'll stop for a little bit, then start to dry, and as soon as it does, then it starts to rain once again.
So what is your plan, or the track's plan for the rain if they don't get anything in tonight?
If we don't get tonight right there, we're going to have 4 races this weekend. So if we don't race tonight, we will race double session tomorrow night. Try and start a little earlier as opposed to 7:15. Maybe try and start at 6:15 with Wednesday's show. And then as soon as that show's done, we'll turn around and run Thursday night's show. after we do our track prep and everything and rework it, get everything in good shape for the Thursday night show. And then that'll put us back on track for a good show Friday and Saturday.
Well, that's going to make for a long night tomorrow night, right? When they do stuff like that, it's going to be a long night.
Well, that'd be lots of racing, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So between, you said you were going to do Wednesdays and then you were going to do Thursdays. How do they go about? And see, most of us here, I started on dirt, but I don't know a whole lot about it. But but how do they work the track back in between the segments? How are they going to work the track back to get the track in condition for Thursday night's group?
Well, after so many laps, it gets tired. The dirt, it gets rubber, it gets things in it that are not as natural as regular dirt. So we'll turn it all over, work it all up, roll it all in again, pack it down, grade it up once again, roll it all in again, water it. It's a process. And, the good thing about it is we've got the best in the business at that. And Chris Duggan and his crew here at the Knoxville Raceway, just like our safety crews, they take a lot of pride in their work, and until it's just right, we don't race.
Well, now when you do the take everything and tear it up and bring it back to where it was before, is that going to make the track the same for both of them? Or how much difference is it going to be, you wonder?
Well, Knoxville dirt is pretty unique. It's a zip soil, so it's a special type of soil. We searched the whole county to find just the right type of stuff to make it recover where it will recover well, retain the right amount of water. Very minimal amount of sand, really no sand in it, and it recovers very well. So we don't have any doubt that we can make that track as good for the Thursday session as it will be for the Friday session. There's no doubt at all.
Well, we've talked to Danny Lasoski and we've talked to Jeff Swindell tonight, and they talk about Knoxville being their Daytona. So that's got to be a big deal. What all do you have going on other than the racing for around the area, like some kind of attractions and stuff like that to get the people out there?
Well, we've got a whole fairground full of vendors and expo, and there's just people everywhere right now just waiting for the racing. But we've got live music. There's people camping just everywhere around the track, and that's the track. Have a campground here in Knoxville. Knoxville's a little town of about 8,000 people, and it swells to about 40,000 people over this weekend. So it becomes a good decent-sized city.
So they get a pretty good economy bite out of that whenever you guys have this thrown each year.
What's that? I didn't catch it. Sorry.
It gets a big economy boost when this goes on every year for that area.
Absolutely. And, we look at that, it is the best dirt track for sprint car racing in the world, but we look at it as a cultural festival. The music, the fun, we have drivers doing autograph sessions everywhere, meet the driver. Tony Stewart's just out walking around, Kyle Larson's here. These guys are just having fun. They're on vacation, and there's a lot of camaraderie built here. Anybody who comes and partakes, you're instantly initiated into the club.
How long has the Knoxville Nationals been around?
This is the 54th annual.
Yeah, that's a big deal. When it lasts 54 years, that's a huge deal. Now you had something going on out there today. Wasn't Tony and Jeff and all them out there today doing something?
Yeah, they were doing the fundraiser, the Race for Cancer. Jeff Ford's charity, Tony's charity there, and I don't know who won. I didn't make it out there, but that was this afternoon. And then Friday, I'd be kicking for Cancer kickball game with Jeff's charity there. I think they raised a little over $100,000 for that charity match, and I know they're looking to pass that goal a fair amount this year as well. So they were all here having fun and hoping to stay good races and just enjoy themselves.
Now, what kind of food do y'all serve at the racetrack? There's usually something unique about each racetrack. Is there you know, like South Boston? Orange County has the bologna burger.
South Boston.
South Boston. What do you guys have anything like that? I'm hungry.
We've got decent food. We're maybe not as unique as most tracks, but I mean, for heaven's sakes, you're in Iowa. We've got over 17 million pigs. So we're gonna have some pork, definitely.
Lots of barbecue.
Barbecue.
That's my kind of food.
All right, man. Well, I want to come out there and see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Now, Brian, do you have other divisions that race out there other than just the 410s, the 360s, and the 305s?
We do. We had a AMA Grand National Flat Track event here, which is always a great show. We have the Knoxville late model Knoxville Nationals in September. A couple weeks before that, we have the Monster Jam event with Feld Motorsports. We have one modified show there, Spike, but we see it week out. Mostly it's 410 sprint cars, 360s and 410s, and then 305s race a few less events than that. But you know, it's a sprint car track, so we feel we can race anything here.
Now, I remember when I was out there 2 years ago, and we did some shows from the Hall of Fame during the Nationals, and one of the guys I got to meet from the track was your flagman. Is he still out there working with you guys?
Well, I'm sorry, who's that?
The flagman, the guy.
Doug Clark, yeah.
Yep.
He's still flagging away. We consider him one of the best in the business. He usually flags our 410s, and his son, Justin Clark, will do the 360s and the 305. So it's and then his Justice boy, of course, is in the stands right behind him, waving his flag. So I think they're trying to carry on a good tradition here with the park.
Yeah, because he's. I wish I could remember how many years he said he's been out there, because he's been out there right long time with you guys.
It is a long time. I can't say that I know exactly, but many, many years for sure.
How long have you been involved with the racetrack?
I've been with Knoxville Raceway here for 8 years now. So before that was the NHRA, before that was USA Cycling and the National Off-Road Bicycle Association. So just doing events, having fun.
Now, have you been keeping track on your radar on the weather and everything? Is it looking like you got some time opening up to where y'all can get some stuff started by midnight?
Yeah, I just caught a little bit of that. Sorry, it's pretty. The rain is coming down a little harder now, and I am outside, and it's just.
Well, I'll tell you what he said. He said, do you think you're going to be able to get anything in tonight before midnight? But you just said it was raining, so I guess that was the answer.
Yeah.
They do have an extra hour on us from here, so it's only 7 something there.
Yeah, it's going on 7:30 here, and it's our hopes are quickly dissolving out the window, I think.
Well, once it stops raining, how long does it take to get the track ready? Do you think it would take for you guys?
How long would it take to get the track ready after something like this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was that question? No, we'd be at least 6 hours.
Woo.
6 hours.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, I think tonight may be pretty much done.
Put a fork in it.
I think I need to talk to John McCoy and our fair board president here and see what we want to do.
All right, well, we appreciate your time and taking time out. I know there's a lot of stuff going on, so we appreciate your time tonight.
Okay, well, thanks for calling, guys. Appreciate you.
All right, man.
Good racing.
We'll talk to you later. I want to go out there and see that one time.
It is wild.
Yeah, I imagine it is.
I mean, I was lucky I got to be in the pits as well as being up in the Hall of Fame watching from both things. Some of our interviews we were doing was actually during when the guys were out there running around.
So it's one of those touchy moments.
I'll touch you now.
touchy moment.
But it's pretty cool. When they're out there working, these drivers, like you're used to walking down pit road and you can talk to some of the guys, and doing stuff like this. When they're out there, the drivers are also on those cars working. They're not just sitting around and doing an interview here or interview here. They're flat getting to it.
He was looking at me when he was saying that. You get that? Did you get that feeling?
I was agreeing with him.
Just carry a wrench in your pocket.
That's I'm gonna put a rag in my pocket and a couple wrenches. I'm working on something right now.
That's right.
Yeah, because I remember, because we did some stuff before going out there, and I talked with Danny Lasoski and Kevin Swindell. Sammy Swindell, sorry. The Brad Doty and some of the other guys out there we had on the show. And going out there, the only one I could get a chance to talk to was Brad Doty because he's rolling around everywhere. And but most of the other guys, they were flat in there working on their stuff, trying to get it better. Because like they said, that's their Daytona race, and they're working hard.
Well, imagine they don't have a whole lot of time. It's not like they have a ton of practice. So
basically they really don't get. They get their hot laps in, and that's their practice.
So you gotta change something. Leave it like it is doesn't.
You gotta be ready or not.
They do like 5 hot laps. That's it.
You tell him put a rag and a wrench in his pocket and act like he's doing something. We got another guy that does this show with us that he walked around at Langley with a bunch of papers in hand and he won't do nothing either.
And he let the cat out of the bag a couple
but
weeks
he was
later,
supposed to be doing that.
You walk around with a piece of paper and everybody thinks you're doing something.
You do that with a bag and a wrench too.
Be looking at a car.
We'll find out.
Unless somebody comes up and asks you what kind of wrench you got and you don't know.
Take that look.
It's a monkey wrench. Do an adjustable wrench, then you ain't got to worry about it.
Whatever size I need. That's a Carolina wrench.
You get some water pump pliers and put in your pocket.
I think the monkey wrench is probably better. Well,
so how's it feel to have your fans up counted so high?
Hey,
Lord,
we're just gloating.
I
had to turn sideways to get my
Ask Jack what he told me before you got here.
Huh?
Ask Jack what he told me before you got here.
I don't know, I told you a bunch of stuff. What'd I tell you?
If he wins.
I said, if you ever win a race, I'll never say nothing else.
Bad about you.
So I don't have to never worry about that.
I don't know. Arena season comes back up.
No. We're talking.
Oh, that we're specifying.
Well, as long as Scott Perlman's out there, you're not going to win an arena race either.
If I'm in the same class, then probably not. I did have him outrun for a little while one race. He come in.
You had him outrun, but that's only because you were going the opposite direction he was going.
That was a few weeks before that. He said, "What'd you do to your car? You got nitrous in that thing?" Well, I don't know. I just didn't practice. I just showed up and qualified, and I ain't touched the car. We ain't done nothing to it.
Goodness.
Oh well. All right.
It's been fun, but it ain't been real fun.
So what'd you think of being able to talk to the dirt guys?
I like that. It's pretty cool.
Get to find out some of the stuff.
But I would love to go out there and see that place, really.
Yeah. And when he says that place grows, he is not kidding.
That and the Chili Bowl. I want to go to the Chili Bowl.
Which one's in the building?
Chili Bowl. Do you think this one was in the building?
No.
None of it's on TV.
If it was in the building, they wouldn't be having a whole lot of problem with the rain right now, do you think?
It is a big track. It's a 5/8 mile track, so. And when he says that the place explodes with people, try. You have to take trolleys pretty much everywhere you want to go. And I'm talking about up to a couple of miles away from the track because they're camping cities.
Well, I'd imagine because there's probably no hotels or not that many.
Any of the hotels are already they're booked
20 years ahead of time.
Yeah,
well, curtain here.
the place is the town's only 8,000 people, and you bring 32,000 people in.
Yeah, because when I went up there, Terry's sponsor had 2 trailers that were out in the camping area, so we stayed in one and they stayed in the other. So it was pretty quiet. And when we were doing some of our show stuff, we were working with, I think it was O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and we were doing stuff from outside their area.
Who was the sponsor?
For what?
You said they had one trailer and y'all had another.
As in RV.
I know. You said the sponsor had them. Who was the sponsor?
Scott Galpin. He has a hot tub, Simon and hot tub stuff.
You need to leave this alone. He's going down a path he has no clue where he's at.
It's a winding road, and he ain't figured out where he's going to get off of it yet.
Yeah, they have some hot tubs out there.
Yeah. Oh, now here you go. Krystal was out there.
I can see y'all in the hot tub now.
Hey, they had a couple of them operational, and Krystal was actually out there in one of them with her swimsuit on. So that was drawing some crowds. Let me tell you.
Boy, I got something I can put this right here.
Go for it,
I'm
Jack.
leave it alone.
Go for it. If you're scared, say you're scared.
No, I was just sitting here contemplating. You know, Scott needs a sponsor. You go get a hot tub come to sponsor you, and you go out there and get in that hot tub.
They ain't gonna sell nothing.
They will give you money to get out and leave.
Oh. I'm gonna leave that whole hot tub thing alone.
I could think of a lot of good things for you to get back at it. You know that.
Yeah, let's don't burn no bridges right now, okay?
You gotta have some first, don't you?
Oh well, you know how it goes.
All right, well let's get out of here. Y'all guys, I don't know if y'all want to eat or go home or what have you. So we enjoyed everybody we had on the show tonight, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. This is Let's Talk Racing, and we're out of here.